I always believed that my wedding day would be the happiest day of my life. I had spent months planning every detail, making sure everything was perfect for my soon-to-be wife, Emily. From the venue to the guest list to the vows we had written ourselves. Everything was in place. I was ready to marry the woman I loved, the woman I thought loved me just as much. But just hours before I was supposed to stand at the altar, I learned the most gut-wrenching truth imaginable. Emily had betrayed me in the worst possible way. It was the night before the wedding, and as tradition dictated, we had separate pre-wedding celebrations. Emily had a bridal party with her bridesmaids, while I spent the evening having a relaxed get-together with my groomsmen. My best man, Jason, had been my best friend since childhood, someone I trusted more than anyone outside of my family. We had been through everything together, college breakups, job losses, and now, my wedding. I never imagined that the person I considered a brother would be the one to stab me in the back. I woke up early on the morning of my wedding, excited and nervous. But then I got a text from one of Emily's bridesmaids, Sarah. It simply read, "You deserve to know the truth before you say I do." Check room 406. My stomach twisted into knots as I reread the message. My heart told me to ignore it, to trust Emily, to brush it off as a misunderstanding. But my gut told me something else. I had to know the truth. With shaking hands, I left my hotel room and made my way to room 406. My mind raced with worst-case scenarios, but nothing could prepare me for what I found when I opened that door. There they were, Emily and Jason, tangled in sheets, asleep in each other's arms. The sight burned itself into my memory, an image I would never be able to erase. My fiancée, the woman I had promised to love and cherish, had betrayed me in the cruelest way. And Jason, my so-called best friend, had broken every code of loyalty. The rage, the heartbreak, the disbelief, it all hit me at once. But I didn't scream. I didn't lash out. Instead, I quietly stepped back, took out my phone, and snapped a picture. I needed proof. Then I left, without waking them. I had a wedding to prepare for, but not the one they were expecting. Back in my room, I took a deep breath and made some quick decisions. First, I contacted Sarah, the bridesmaid who had warned me. I thanked her and asked her to keep what she knew quiet until the ceremony. Then I called the wedding coordinator and made a few last-minute changes to the reception. I wasn't going to let Emily and Jason ruin this day for me. No, I was going to make sure they regretted every single second of their betrayal. When it was time for the ceremony, I stood at the altar, watching as Emily walked down the aisle, dressed in white, looking every bit the perfect bride. She smiled at me, completely unaware that I knew everything. I forced myself to smile back. The guests were seated. The music stopped, and the officiant began. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for, the vows. Emily went first, reading a heartfelt speech about love, loyalty, and spending forever together. I almost laughed at the irony. Then it was my turn. I pulled out my phone, looked Emily in the eyes, and said, "Before I say my vows, I think it's only fair to share something with all of you." Then I turned the phone screen toward the crowd and displayed the picture I had taken that morning. Emily and Jason in bed together. Gasps filled the church, followed by whispers and stunned silence. Emily's face went pale. Her hands covered her mouth as she realized what was happening. Jason, who was standing beside me as my best man, went rigid, his face draining of color. I turned back to Emily. "You were the love of my life. I was ready to spend forever with you. But you couldn't even wait one more night before betraying me. And Jason, my best friend, my brother, you threw away a lifetime of friendship for what? A cheap, meaningless affair?" Tears streamed down Emily's face as she stammered, "Please, let's talk about this in private." I shook my head. "No, you made this public when you did this behind my back just hours before our wedding." I turned to the guests. "There won't be a wedding today. But since everything is already paid for, please enjoy the reception without the bride and best man." The room exploded into chaos. Emily ran out, sobbing. Jason tried to follow, but he was stopped by several of our mutual friends who had just seen everything unfold. My family and friends rallied around me, some giving me hugs, others cheering me on for exposing the truth. The reception turned into more of a party, celebrating my fresh start rather than a wedding. And honestly, it felt liberating. Emily tried reaching out to me in the days that followed, sending long messages about how she had made a terrible mistake, that she had been drunk, that she never meant to hurt me. Jason never reached out, probably because he knew there was nothing he could say to fix what he had done. But I didn't respond to either of them. Instead, I focused on moving on, surrounding myself with people who truly cared about me. In the end, I realized something important. Betrayal doesn't break you. It reveals who truly belongs in your life. Emily and Jason showed me exactly who they were. And for that, I was grateful. Because now, I was free to find someone who actually deserved my love. And as for them, they got exactly what they deserved.